Microservices are a software development technique, a variant of the service oriented architecture or SOA architectural style that structures an application as a collection of loosely coupled, fine grained services. With microservices, we can organize our backend as a set of services that are highly maintainable, testable, independently deployable, and organized around business capabilities. Oftentimes, they are owned by a small team since microservices encapsulate specific smaller domains. The benefits of microservices are numerous, but let's look at some of the most important and valuable benefits. Independent deployments. We can deploy each service independently, which means we can deploy more often and faster. We can also scale each service independently, which means we can scale only the services that need to be scaled. Modularity. This makes the application easier to understand, develop, and test. Different teams can work on different services without having to know the details of other services. Technology diversity. We can use different technologies for different services. For example, we can use Node.js for one service and Java for another service. On the other hand, microservices also have some drawbacks. Complexity. With microservices, we need to deal with distributed systems, which are more complex than monolithic applications. Also, inter-service communication has a higher latency than in-process calls in monolithic applications. Data consistency. Maintaining data consistency across services is challenging. Some operations may require transactions that span multiple services, which is not that simple to implement. Testing. Testing microservices is more complex than testing monolithic applications. To test each service in isolation, we need to mock all the other services. Also, we need to test the integration between services, end-to-end and integration tests. And deployment complexity. We need to deploy multiple services here, which is of course more complex than deploying a single monolithic application. And of course, there are several others that we didn't get to dive into here. So as we can see, microservice architecture has its fair share of pros and cons, as does everything in software development. It's not a silver bullet, and it's not suitable for every application, as it introduces additional complexity and overhead, new problems, and new challenges that we need to deal with, such as network latency, fault tolerance, data consistency, etc. As software developers, we need to always carefully consider the pros and cons before we decide to use microservices for any given system we're working on.